We've been hunted down. You ought to leave the records. Oh dear. Great, I have to build another arm again, ought to. Ked's here. Yeah, he landed us in a nice ship. Oh, great, it's Emperor Anakin. Oh dear, what does he want? To tell the story. I have a holocron for you. Well then, let us tell the story of the ancient republic. In the days before the ancient republic was more than a collection of systems, more than a common, people were always asking and knit together of rat-tacking drive technologies. They looked to the galactic rim. But rim young worlds were such as Corellia and Duro and Alaska and Exum and Brentral did not think alike. They had common goals but their own ambitions. Before that war picture, let us think about it. Galactic exploration had proceeded rapidly, as brave as hyperspace. Just recently, we had learned about some of this part. The Chinese had been following new civilizations and colonization, then rocketed along the Corellian runs. The Perlenians still saw shipwrights in many of its scout ships, but by the end they lay at an entrepot maintained, while the Perlenian trade worlds of Terrain and Nurin and Rosh built. Brave traders made their fortunes, making contacts with outer rims. Many would say, let us go out and have adventures, man, landing on ships and on a shuttleport of every storm. Brave traders made fortunes on the rim and the network depots. Navigation boys flying away. Vader, what would you say? Well, during those brave trader times, why I'm wearing this mask right now, is because making the fortunes of the rim and network depots and navigation boys soon dissected near the Kalarba, while the conflicts between different worlds of colonists and traders went unknown. Shooting wars were worn and burnt. The galaxy was too big to waste on pointless conflicts that we're having for now. But too powerful that lay beyond the rim. The Titan cluster was reduced from Zinspider, had fractured into colonies and squabbling states. The men would say, what should we do? Beginning to get jealous by common culture, Sim's lighthouse beacons and its worlds hungered to reclaim lost glories, thinking that it was theirs. But both the Tinies and the Hutt saw the rich worlds the core is ripe. I will take it from here. But before that, Hutt raiders and slavers struck from the shadows to depopulate colonies that seized the Republic, building into a meanwhile somewhat fear the core superior hyperspace technologies and wealth. The Perlenian ideal of invasion corridor, the Taiwanese war and its aftermath would change the Republic in two profound ways. The trade guilds and Spice became a military organization, first under the Spices, to us, the Jedi. But eventually, under the centralized control, the Hutt world sought Republic from the records of the Hutts and the Chinese, admitting as far-flung worlds as the Republic made a galaxy-spanning civilization, and forced it as a centralized world power, military power. Quite hard. Yes, indeed hard. The Jedi had not yet been known to the world since a long time. Every object in real space casts a shadow in space. The distant stars, routes had been taken. Since then taken, many had been taken. Instead of jumping off point beacons, during the 14,000 BBYs, the air was nearing its end. New nav computers could take thousands of routes and calculate recency efficiency. The Republic Navy conducted and crash research to ensure that ships crossed quickly in safety without having to rely on beacon spaceport and data stacks. When the war with the Sith and the Mandalorians had become reached, Republic space destroyed many beacons in an effort to destroy enemy easy passage into the heart. So much greed. After the jump beacon era ended, any starship, like in this opening recording, such a nav computer can be held, but if they can destroy us, any route that may controlling as far as challenging can merely be pushed to the ship. Catal. Oat. Tragic. Still, as many of the hyperspace travelers evolved, people disobeyed somewhat easier. Many made points A and B. As they traveled, commercial drafts made. Some after the jump beacon. The boast of the coronation admitted to hide their origin. Wildcard commanders existing. But during the blind jump made by the Jory siblings, the Chorus Major and Korriban of 5,000 years gave the Sith an advantage. The Empire route. The brief-lived Dragon Trail allowed to the strike to hit the Republics. Master Anakin has this to say. Yes. During the Clone Wars, the Republic and the Separatists both negotiated for the Hutts to access the great gastropod's routes. Though each blockades are the stuff of engines, the two sides for control of the Nexus route connected the warring territories. General Agrees attacked via hyperspace Kashyyyk by the Kalavatic Guild of the Working Hyperspace. Kalavatic routes were considered the stuff of legend, as I have said before. They existed the Chewbacca, the Prince, using them profitably in smuggling, passed to the Princess Leia after the Battle of Hoth, the Lion's High Command and a great asset to the Empire, later exploited to the Yuzavong's ignorance of the hyperspace routes by tempting them into a trap at Aqaba, where their main war fleet was extra and Morph Yuzavong died. The war with Tion was beginning to come. A surprise awaited them. Attu wrote them. A war surprised Republic traders today, who pushed beyond the farthest reaches at the Pluralinian system. They were not the first humans to come this way. NASA had been the first. In fact, the human civilizations spanning huge expanses have awaited them even before long ago that. The Tinies claimed their cluster was the cradle of humanity, and took Zim's accomplishments, but Zin had been dead for thousands of years. Who am I? I'm Mesalamium the Thirst. The Tinies have been not glorious since his demise. Tonight's night, the despot's empire is splintered into sexual states after his death. Those are fragmenting and brawling kingdoms and satrapies and petty kingdoms. Today we will talk to one of the men. Well, we are being taken. None of the Tinies rulers are still none little wealthy pies who are retiring. Two of these united cultures are a love of wealth and fear of men. And the worst of these were the Hutts. Traveling under protection snapped. Time remained, but they beyond all the retribution. All beyond retribution, we were being hunted like dogs. As we joined the Republic, the Tinies greeted the arrival of the Republic traders with a mix of jealousy, saying, "Ha! Look at what they do!" Blowing up stations. While the Tinies remained technology stagnant in Zim's era, shipwrights proved that the Corellian and Duros interpretations, the Devorians and Verpines, ships of the Tion clusters at the same time, the new rivals, from Destro from the once living League and the Entry, urging the pirate lords. The honorable Destro and the Kingdom of Crom surrounded as the Thranian Dominion and the Republic technologies. War was coming, and no one wanted to be a part of it. We better hurry. Sad that they did not have enough time to report that. Republic technologies and building a fleet on Arcan and Jameer and Thenium. War was coming, and no one in the Republic seemed despite warnings. From another mysterious society in the core, the Jedi Order was being formed. Indeed. Most impressively, they come from the planet Tinies, where the world the Tinies called Ildex, but they called themselves the Alsus. But during their before the Legions of Latal, few core had given much to the Jedi. Since the departure they had guessed they had been young rebel defenders. The Republic's defenders checked the Hutt schemes and kept the Tinies divided, becoming somewhat villainous. Now strange warriors with glowing swords appeared in the corps, warning but with little avail. Tiny's fleets down the Ptolemaian with little resistance, but the Iberian and Major Republic fell to raiders. Then Rosh was lost, and Lanteles, the trade tyrant with the gaining ships, belated of its wear. The Republic embarked and crashed a warship, with the Tauls taking its ships. Axum and Foras Plurnia, it was too late. The convoys of the Chinese were finally defeated.